I just made it here. It's 5:22 a.m. That's the Priest bus that just dropped me off. That driver is very cool, by the way. And yeah, another bus stop, another person sleeping at it. That's just the way they are around here. So I'm at Priest in Washington. This is where I transfer to the Route 56. Now, this is another thing I find interesting. The Route 56 starts and ends at this intersection. The Route 1 starts and ends at this intersection. So why isn't that a single route? The only way you can get a bus out of here is a Route 56 going south or a Route 1 going west. So why is that not a singular route? Why doesn't the bus that comes down Washington turn and then continue down Priest as a single route? Why do people that are going in the only direction they can come in on a bus and then leaving and the other direction they can leave on a bus, why do those people have to get off this bus, walk across this strode, walk across this train track and this other strode to a different bus stop to catch a different bus that doesn't show up for 25 minutes? Why do we have to do that? Why can't we just stay on the bus, have the bus go around the corner and continue the route? Why isn't anybody asking these questions? That's what I'd like to know. Why is this bus system so broken? And apparently I'm the only person who's aware of it. Bus driver was just raving about how great the bus is and Project 2050 or something like that. And, well, that's what pays for your bus pass. Okay, well, that's good. I admit that's good. Appreciate it. But yeah, when I told him that I was on that bus because there's no train headed this direction, he's like, sure there is. I'm like, no, sure there's not. So yeah, the bus drivers, the individual bus drivers, they don't actually ride the bus. So they're unaware of the problems in the system. But yeah, he's like, oh, there's a train right there. I can see it's headed east. I said, yeah, that train doesn't do me any good. At this intersection, I'm headed south. So there's only eastbound buses. There's only eastbound buses leaving from Priest, headed to points east of Priest. But I only needed to ride the train from 44th Street to Priest, and there's no train headed that direction at that time. He seemed very surprised by that. He didn't know that. I said, yeah, there's plenty of trains headed west, no trains headed east. That's why I'm on this bus. But yeah, it didn't even occur to me the ridiculousness of how his bus turns left. That's due to the way that the cities each operate their own buses. Even though it looks like it's all one bus system, everything's painted up Valley Metro. You know, it seemed that Valley Metro could be something that all the municipalities pay into, that as a single governing board decides what routes are needed to service the valley. But yeah, so he turns and drops all his people off, which ended up being just me, of course, where that woman was sleeping. And I'm not quite sure where he goes. He's headed northbound. I'm sure he does some kind of turnaround and loop, and then he'll park at the bus stop. Probably takes a 15-minute smoke break. Seems like every bus driver takes breaks to smoke. And then probably comes back and stops at the bus stop. I can't really see it, but there should be a stop just west of Priest on Washington, where he starts his route. This ridiculousness of me leaving the Phoenix-operated bus there and having to wait 25 minutes for a Tempe-operated bus over here. It's just stupid. And then walk all that distance from the one stop to the other stop when it could just be one continuous route. Although what I'd like to know is why that's not just one continuous route continuing down Washington all the way to where Washington turns into Curry and then all the way to where that road ends at McClintock. That should be a route. That's a road. That's a road you can drive on. Why isn't it a route you can ride a bus on? And then also the Priest bus, which just starts here and goes south. Now, to be fair, later in the day, it does go further north. It goes all the way up to the Desert Botanical Gardens along Galvin Parkway. But I feel this route should at all times go further north in the direction that the road goes when you drive it, which is on north. Galvin Parkway turns into 64th Street, and then 64th Street continues north all the way to Indian School Road, And Indian School Road runs at an angle, so when you're going north on 64th Street, there's a free flow to the right of Indian School Road that takes you into Old Town Scottsdale, and it seems to me that's where the route should go. But yeah, there's no route north of Desert Botanical Gardens on the 56. It doesn't extend north of that, and I don't even know what time it starts going that far north. This time of the morning, it only comes here to Washington Street. And that whole terminus there at Desert Botanical Gardens seems completely absurd to me as well, because that's just south of McDowell Road, and by it ending there and not continuing any farther north prevents there being any bus transfers from the 56 to the Route 17, which goes on McDowell, which would have made my life a lot easier. Imagine if I could have, instead of walking to 44th Street to catch the Route 44 and having to do 2 bus transfers to go to work, imagine if I could have just walked down to McDowell and caught a 17 and taken it to Galvin Parkway and then transferred to the 56 and come south. But no, if you look here, here's a transit map. How absurd is that that route comes so close to connecting to the 17, which is a huge route. I mean, the 17 goes all the way from Pima to, I don't even know what street, Pebble Valley Parkway or something like that, way, way, way in the West Valley. I think that route goes farther west than any other route, Route 17. So one of the longest east-west routes in the entire system, but for whatever stupid political reason, the Route 56 doesn't go north enough to connect to it and make a transfer to it by like less than half a mile, because it instead turns into a tourist attraction and does a loop in its parking lot and then continues south only. So much of it's nonsensical. And there you see another train headed eastbound right there. But I could not have caught that train at 44th Street. And I understand like what's going on with it, and maybe the bus driver didn't understand that the trains are dispatched out of this facility here. I'll show you an aerial view of the map. This is the Valley Metro train yard, which is right here near the 143 freeway. And the spur route connects right next to La Girls, connects to the actual train line that goes down Washington. So that train isn't coming from 44th Street. That train most likely coming from the train yard. So that's actually the first station that it stops at. So like I get the logistics of that. It starts picking up passengers there and just goes to Point East. What I don't understand is why there's not already other trains running earlier. I mean, why isn't that train just running 24/7? I mean, I get at some point they need to go in the train yard to be cleaned and inspected, but why aren't there other trains that just simply keep running the whole length of the route all night long? I mean, I get taking the frequency of the service down. I'm all for dropping the service to be in even only once an hour or once every 45 minutes in the middle of the night, but for God's sake, keep it running. And in the hours between 4 and 6 in the morning, it should be running pretty frequently because a lot of people have to be to work at 6 a.m. Meanwhile, it is 5:31. There goes another train headed eastbound. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if I was needing to catch the train here and go east, there's plenty of trains going east from here. This is my eastmost point where I needed to get off the train, not get on the train. But as you can see, there's nothing residential around here. This is all office buildings here. So nobody is getting on a train going to work here, but this is where the trains start. Yeah, there seems to be no thought given as to where people actually live and work and need to go and how these routes actually work. It's bizarre and frustrating. So as I recall, I had like a 25-minute wait here. I was looking at my schedule earlier. Of course, I was a little late arriving. Looking at the bus app, and it's showing me the bus that I just got off is waiting at the stop, waiting to start his route. I'm seeing it in the app right there. And yeah, there he is. So yeah, that's what his route is. Kick everybody out where that lady was sleeping at the bus stop. Do some kind of loop up in the offices where he doesn't actually pick anybody up, and then just sit there for a while before heading back west. Meanwhile, there's another bus that does the same thing, that goes south on this street and does the same sort of thing, kicks everybody off at that same stop, does some loop around, and then comes out. And so I'll be seeing it heading north, I would assume, before it comes here to pick us up. 2 other people waiting. I would assume they're actually waiting for the bus, same as I am. Doesn't look like anybody camping at that bus stop. Why isn't that a continuous route? Makes little sense to me. So my bus, take that there so you can see it, shows it's on time for 5:45 a.m. so another 11 minutes till it shows up. Also notice how that bus shows right after the word today. Yeah, I'm probably not going to see it coming from Point South because this is the first bus of the morning on this route. So 5:45 a.m. first route heading south. So if you have to be to work at 5 in the morning, tough shit. If you have to be to work at 6 in the morning, you don't have a lot of options. But I would imagine city council members don't have to be to work this early in the morning, so why would they care, right? So it's now 5:47 a.m. As you can see from this here screenshot, it's showing the next bus is at 6 a.m. At 6 a.m. I'm supposed to be working at the Circle K south of me at the corner of this street, Priest, and University. The 5:45 a.m. bus never showed up. Didn't show up at all. The 2 gentlemen that were waiting at the bus with me, one of them got into a white passenger car. Some random white car just pulled up inside the bus stop, and he got in. I always find that peculiar since the only vehicles that are supposed to be loading at those spots are city buses. But it's the second time this week I've seen that sort of thing happen. The last time was when I was with that woman that I mentioned that I rode the bus with down Roosevelt Street when I arrived late to Rob's court hearing because the bus was super late picking up on Roosevelt Street. And then I ended up missing the transfer. I was hoping I could get onto the Route 8. It would have got me closer to the court building, and just ended up having to walk the entire way. I was there at that bus stop by the Circle K at Roosevelt and 32nd Street, and already having a pretty pleasant conversation. Actually, I don't know if we were really talking up until that point that happened. But anyway, there was a black woman, I would imagine probably about 10 years younger than me. A little on the heavier side, but I still found her pretty attractive. But anyway, she was sitting there on the bus stop next to me. And between us, there was a Mexican guy, like his cowboy type hat on. And this car pulled up, like right, well, actually it wasn't a car, it was a SUV, but at any rate, a passenger vehicle pulled up like right in front of the bus stop, which is a pretty sus thing when you're waiting at a bus stop. Like, you don't know, it's like, did that guy pulled up because he's getting ready to abduct one of us or mug one of us? Like, why the hell is a vehicle that's not a bus stopping at a bus stop? But I could definitely see that she looked very apprehensive when it happened. And, anyway, the guy that was sitting between us ended up getting on the bus. I do hate how there's a multi-use path that goes underneath me right here. Sorry, this has nothing to do with the bus stop thing I was talking about. But it goes underneath right here. And it just occurred to me, something that, talking about things that are dysfunctional for pedestrians. Yeah, there's no connectivity between this, which is a major route going north and south, Priest Drive, and the bike route underneath. There's absolutely no way to connect where I'm here up above and the infrastructure directly below me. Like, why is there no connectivity? I mean, I get it, there shouldn't be any vehicle connectivity, but there should be a way to walk or take a bicycle. And in the dark, I'm having trouble seeing the path, but I think it's over there by the train track. Yeah, I think it's on the north side of the canal, because I see the lighting directly ahead of me that's on the canal that's for the path. Kind of hard to see the path, at least with my vision from up here. Yeah, there's no connectivity, which sucks. Something I mentioned the other day when I'm talking about how I'm worried about how I'm going to get to my job next Monday, because there's no transit that gets close to there anywhere near the time that I need to be at work at 5:50 a.m. Although it's 5:51 a.m., I've got 9 minutes to get to work. I'm walking. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. I'm crossing my fingers that I can walk this and get there within that 10-minute window that constitutes being on time. And of course, you know, the old adage, well, if you're late, you should get up earlier. I got up 2 hours and 10 minutes before my work shift to get ready for work and to plan this trip. And I planned this trip out in the app, in the transit app. Looked up all the times for all the routes, and I planned this shit out hours before, many hours before I had to get up and go to work, just to make sure that I was on the right, oh motherfucker, and there's the bus. There is the bus. Holy fuck. There's the bus. It showed up late. Oh fuck. It showed up late, and I'm at a place where there's no bus stops. The app didn't show that it was running late, it just showed it wasn't going to show up. Oh, fuck. It just showed it wasn't going to show up. When I looked at the app, it said the next bus wasn't going to be till 6. It didn't show that thing. You have a red light, dude. You have a red light. Why is that guy creeping up on me? He's got a red light. Oh, fuck me. Wow. You know, at least when I clicked on the app, it could have shown, instead of not showing there wasn't going to be a bus till 6, it could have shown that the bus was running late and show me where it was. But it didn't show me that shit. If I'd have known the bus was running late, I'd have kept there waiting. But now I'm on a stretch where there's no bus stops. There's no way for me to run and catch up to that bus. I don't think there's another bus stop till after Rio Salado, which is that traffic light like a quarter mile ahead of me. Meanwhile, I'm stuck on this walkway on the bridge. God, this system is so fucking broken. I swear to God, it's like if you don't have a motor vehicle in this city, you may as well just fucking hang yourself and fucking die, because your life is going to be so fucking miserable trying to cope with it that you're going to be left with no will to even continue. Holy fucking shit. Anyway, as I mentioned, when I was home from Rob's shop and trying to contemplate how I'm going to get to my job next week, how there's no pedestrian route from Rob's shop that goes north and south, how from there you have to go east 2 miles all the way to Priest, and that's the next north-south pedestrian, walkable road. Well, this is it. Rob shop at 40th Street, 1 mile east of 40th Street is 48th Street, 1 mile east of there is Priest, and here I am. So yeah, if you're there and you're trying to go north, it's bad enough that walking is miserable, but you have to add 4 miles of walking because there's not a pedestrian route along the east side of the airport. There's 2 routes for people who drive. You got 44th Street and you got the 143 freeway, but no route for people who bike, use micromobility, or walk. You got to go clear all the way over to here. Now from there is a direct route that gets you here. That's a little bit better than walking along the streets, and that's that bike route that you can see, the cement pedestrian path you see along Rio Salado there. And as you can see, there's a path that connects to here. There's a path that connects to here, but as you go the other direction, the main, on the north side of Rio Salado, the main east-west bike route, it doesn't connect to Priest. It goes underneath Priest. There's no connectivity. I'm not entirely sure how, if you were on Priest, you would get down there. Me walking, I would probably just try to climb down the landscaping, which isn't particularly safe, but I could probably do it. On a bicycle or a scooter, I have no freaking idea. And even this is awkward. Look how far out of the way it goes. Like, and you can see there's Desire Path right here where people just walk directly across. But yeah, you follow the path. It goes out of the way to the north and loops around, and there's the 56th going north. God, why was that bus so fucking late? And granted, it was only 2 minutes late when I started walking, but the reason I chose to start walking was because it didn't even show in the app that it was going to be the next bus. Like, it showed the next bus not happening until 6 a.m., 15 minutes later. And I was thinking to myself, well, fuck, I got to be to work at 6 a.m. I can't sit here and wait for a bus to show up at 6 a.m. Now, had it shown that the bus was running late, had it showed the text to the left saying 5:45 a.m. and then text next to it saying 5:49 a.m. No, that's not right. Yeah, 5:49 a.m. indicating it was running 4 minutes late, or 5:50 a.m. indicating it was running 5 minutes late. Had it shown that in red text, and I'd have been able to click on that to see where the bus was en route to me, I would have just simply waited like the other guy was waiting. Turns out he did the right thing. I thought I was doing the right thing by taking off walking in order to minimize my lateness. But yeah, I was wrong. And by the way, this entire length that I've walked from that bus stop that I started walking from to here, 0 bus stops. 0 bus stops. It is about a mile from I've nearly walked a mile now. It's about a mile from Washington Street to this next light, which is Rio Salado. Not one single bus stop. Mind you, there's a scooter. I could take that right now. Although I don't know that I have the 59 after. I don't know that I have the app configured, but you know what? It's 59 after. That will get me where I need to go within my 10-minute window. I'm going to give it a shot. Yeah, there should really be a bus stop at the top there to connect for people who are trying to bike on bus that are coming from the main bike route there on Rio Salado. That should be there, and it's not. Well, it's 6:05. Hopefully the cashier inside here has my code ready and can give it to me within the 5-minute window.